Good morning, everybody. We're going to talk about Altseason and the Altseason, which is possibly upon us, staring us right in the face. The only problem we've got is that stocks may not allow for the Altseason, but then again, we've seen a bit of a decoupling already this morning, so maybe it will. We'll just have to have a look, won't we? Right, let's jump on in. Right, so this is the Bitcoin Dominance Money Flow Index, and this one doesn't count because basically 2019, 15 basically, and the chart looked like that, so we don't really count that. This one was the highest read there ever was, and you saw a nice big rejection from the 64% dominance area. There's an Altseason which lasted several months. Not bad. Okay, that's alright. I'll deal with that. What else did we have? Okay, we had this over here. A nice big Altseason. Very nice. From an overheated read of the Money Flow Index. In fact, this one made us a lot of money. In fact, that was probably one of the best times of my life. And since then, we've not really had a chance for anything like that because the fundamentals have flipped. So, Michael Saylor's not selling anything, is he? ETFs aren't selling, they're not rotating, and back in the olden days when we had to deal with every last little piece of price action in the crypto market, we were rotating all the time. It was a very common thing looking at the dominance chart. When we're going to flip, when we're going to rotate. I tried it too early this time around. We did a few and we rotated around these areas, but I tried one around here which worked to an extent but got picked back up. Tried one around here, worked to an extent, got picked back up. So I'm thinking we'll try again now, or soon, should I say, not now. All my Bitcoins are still in cold storage. I'm not taking them out on this. If there's an Altseason, you should be able to bag a quick 100%, and even if you're not picking it up from the bottom. All I'm pointing out here is that there's a good chance, that we get a rejection on the dominance chart and we get an Altseason. That's right. So I've said the word, and I can feel how upset some people are. Some people are excited. Some people are upset that they're excited. So that's life right now, I'm afraid. So we've looked at this. We've recognised we're at a resistance. We recognise that we're technically the second highest it's ever been. If we just forget about this one over here, back in 2015, where altcoins weren't really a thing, really. Not many people were buying altcoins back then. I was actually. I bought a load of XRP back then, but not based on the dominance chart, I can tell you. Right. So what else are we going to look at? Let's have a look at the total 2 and then the total market cap. So. Total 2, what are you up to? Okay, so the total 2 did a gold cross retest on the weekly, 2 drives, bullish divergence. We also had a single drive of regular bullish divergence on the Money Flow Index, which is normally enough to see a catapulting move back up. If we're going to reverse, we could reverse from here very easily. This is all the altcoins excluding Bitcoin, which means it does involve boring old Ethereum, which is basically just doing not a great deal of anything. Now, looking at this, 1, 2. That is bull div, but it hasn't registered on the indicator, but it is bull div. Other than that, we're not really sitting at any supports or anything at all. But yeah, like 3% up today, which isn't too bad. And we're pushing the Bollinger Band, which could mean that we push up to 1,890, maybe by the end of the day. I know. What are you talking about? Yes, I know. But not a great deal more than that, though, on this chart. So let's have a think about the total market cap. If you want to see more of this sort of stuff, we do live streams twice a week. The next one's on Wednesday. We did one last night, and there was a few altcoins actually that we highlighted as good. I just had a little look at them this morning, and they're doing pretty well. Not all altcoins though. Right, so the total market cap on the 4 hourly is breaking above all moving averages. Pump signal in play, looking pretty sweet. Take it down a notch to this. We've got a resistance here and another resistance here, so do expect to see a rejection on the first pass, maybe come back down to where we came from and then move back up. It's a start, but it's still bearish. We could easily get rejected from 2.8 trillion. We could get rejected at 2.9 trillion. There's nothing we can do about that. The pound is rallying, the dollar's dying, and then just to make things even more complicated, the pre-market for the S&P is actually down. So what the bloody hell is going on? Hey, what is going on? Well, it's hard for me to say. I actually really don't know. The only thing we can do now is to trade individual charts as we see them. and make sure that our risk management is appropriate. That's the only thing we can do, because on last night's stream I said, look, XYZ and this, that, and the other. You know, I'm not saying that's a ticker, by the way. I'm just just using it as an example. XYZ is looking good. Yeah, so is this over here. That looks good over here. These all look like they could pump and move up. And they've got targets. This looks great. The only problem I've got is that the S&P and the Nasdaq don't look good, and also gold was looking particularly overheated, but it's up 2% already. I mean, something's going to give at some point on gold. I didn't expect to see it go up 2%, but it did. But it is overheated, and as much as it's overheated, it can still keep going up. But when it comes down, it could be a big one, and that might be the catalyst for everybody else. 14% drop on gold. So we just like I say, trade these markets appropriately. Have a nice time doing it. But risk management is the best thing you can do. I like everything that I see, though, generally. And like I said yesterday for Bitcoin, the setup was obvious yesterday, and we've played it. That setup was that we were going to come down into the 200 exponential, and then from there we can take a long. And it's worked exactly as expected, hasn't it? So there you have it. The move so far, a measly 4%, and that was the setup from yesterday, and it's now completed. Anything that it's got now, any legs that it's got now is fine. Just make sure that your stop loss is either just above break even, so you take a little bit of profit, but make sure there's a stop loss in there. If you took that position yesterday, then you'll be loving life. And look, there is a chance that this sails up to 92,000. Yeah, there is a serious chance that that can happen. And that would take you up to the 20 moving average on the weekly, which is where this formation came in. 50 exponential, 20 simple, support, resistance, support, resistance. Which way are you going to break? Probably to the up, I'd say. Right, thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.